Hello, and welcome to our final non spoiler review of The Mandalorian. Today we're talking about Chapter 8, The Redemption. I should state right off the bat, this probably won't be the last non spoiler review because this is set up and confirmed to have a season 2. So I'm sure in a year or two, we'll be right back at it talking about it. But this the best way I can describe this episode is this is what I want from Star Wars. This is a new story told in familiar ways that doesn't feel like it's beating you over the head with fan service. That makes you feel those same emotions that you used to feel. You There's just so many ways with this episode that it's very rough not to get into spoilers about the series, but with what we see the Mandalorian do and the group that he has brought together to protect that package that he's been all over the galaxy with, it's it's emotional, but not just to the point to where you're like you feel for the characters, which you eventually do. You see these characters do these things that make you want to know more about their culture, that make you want to know more about how they got to where they are, and it makes you excited for the future. This episode ends in a way that actually made me go, no way. It sets up the next season, but at the same time it makes you excited for the next season. It doesn't feel like some thrown away line to add for a new series. It's what I wanted from Star Wars. Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon, by far one of the most exciting bad guys that I've seen. And they make some comments about his character of Moff Gideon that I want to know his backstory now. I want to know how he's gotten to where he is, how he's gotten an item that he has, and what does that mean for the culture of Mandalore. And when we speak of the culture of Mandalore, there is the Mandalorian leader, the Forge. I can't think of what the actress's last name is, but it's Emily something. But she's the one that forged the Beskar armor for the Mandalorian, and the way she reacts to some stormtroopers, the way she acts to the Mandalorian. I want to know about how she came settled on this planet, and I want to know more about that character. It ends in a fitting way to kind of the way that I wanted. Like, it sets up the next mission for the next season, but at the same time, it goes, are you really going to do that? Or are you just going to go a different way because that's what your character knows and how that your character was raised? So I am super excited to see the next season. Uh, $7 a month cost Disney Plus. These 8 episodes, while they are ballpark 35 minutes in length, absolutely worth at least 1 month of the service. You add that with the things from your childhood, service is worth it to me. With that kind of being said, we will get into a spoiler review once I have kind of binged it. I'm going to go back through and I want to watch all 8 episodes. That's what, 4.5 hours worth of content, and back to back to back to back to back to back is going to kind of give a little bit more of an insight, and I'll see things that I didn't miss, like I did with my second viewing of Rise of Skywalker. And it's going to be exciting to sit down and talk with probably Andrew about this series in full detail. And to anyone who hasn't seen The Mandalorian, I know it's not available in all countries around the world, but you're going to want to get on that if you're going to watch a spoiler review, because we went almost 2 hours on Rise of Skywalker, and that was only 2.5 hours. So I can only imagine what we'll do with 4 hours of content. With that being said, there's throughout the whole season, throughout this episode, there isn't anything to say that this one isn't. I wouldn't say it not child friendly, but it's not at the same time. There's a lot of violence, which this episode had a lot of action to it, which was actually pretty well done. Taika Waititi directed this episode and played the IG droid. I'm actually hopeful that we see him reprise his role. Well, not really reprise his role, but maybe voice another IG droid. It's it's an interesting way to take a character when they're modeled on a droid that could be millions of models throughout the galaxy. Um, but back to child friendly. Maybe it's not. I would say probably 13, 14 is kind of where you want to start, but I do know of some parents that like 8-year-olds. I don't know if I would go there, but it's not like they're swearing or there's excessive bloodshed. It's it's Star Wars violence. Oh, now that I think about it, there is one head injury that's kind of rough, but it's something that I think can be tolerated, I guess is the right word. But anyway, with that being said, and this being the way, what did you think? Have you seen The Mandalorian? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And until next time, when we break down the season for full spoiler effect and try to dive into the culture of Mandalore. You can find me, of course, on my social medias linked in the description below. And as always, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this conversation. And until next time, have a great night.